Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to talk about Quantum Break, which was a successful game by itself, nonetheless. However, Microsoft GM would love to work on another Quantum Break, which is basically a game that was very well received overall when it first was released to pretty much to its fan base. Not only that, probably a lot of people that are still playing the game now, probably in a harder difficulty due to the fact that the game was just well received and actually sold a lot, and sales wise did pretty well nonetheless. So Remedy Entertainment Quantum Break turned out to be one of the biggest successes for Microsoft Xbox One console, but is also notorious for being the only real success to come out of the now shuttered Xbox One Entertainment Studio. That being said, despite the division closure, Microsoft Studios general manager Jordan Love is interested in exploring another such mixed media Xbox title down the road, which basically is something similar to that of Quantum Break, but has similar features but a different story, possibly. Speaking to The Guardian, Law said, actually is getting easier as performance capture become more sophisticated. The work to bridge the gap between the linear entertainment and the interactive element is becoming less and less difficult as time marches on. He would also love to work on another mixed media game. Quantum Break, released in April to decent critical acclaim and strong sales, it was the fastest selling new IP published by Microsoft in the UK this console generation, and also the best selling new IP published by the company till date. And basically, to date, it's been the best game to sell to date because there aren't many games actually sold that well, of course, this year from Microsoft. But Quantum Break happened to be one of those games that happened to be up there with the rest of those games that have a high standard. So, which is why they would love to create another game that is if it's not a Quantum Break, a game that is based off of similar mechanics to that of Quantum Break. But people are pretty much, cheering them on at this point and saying they should definitely go for it, being that it was one of the most successful games this year that has been released. So, they would also be interested in another such transmedia title. So basically, overall, they're asking their fans if they would like to be interested in another transmedia title. And let's go over Quantum Break a while here. So Quantum Break, when it first came out, it was based off of a series. The series pretty much was basically people's go-to to know how to use the powers of this person or of these characters once they have gained them. However, Quantum Break happens to be one of those like time traveling projects gone wrong. And usually, when a time travel project goes wrong, you're seeing a movie of time travel. When it goes wrong, somebody somewhere in the group gains powers to control time. In this case, that's what happened to the main character. And it turns out it's not just you playing through the game, he's also telling the story. In the game itself, he happens to be telling the story as to what went down and how exactly did he get those powers as he's been interrogated by a secretary, of course, who probably works with the FBI, mostly likely. And with that being said, of course, just saw one of my favorite characters actually was the guy who was always seems to, I forgot his name, but he seems to torture the guy who was always in the office, like the guinea pig to pretty much he's basically the guinea pig to the company, and he's always trying to bust him for some reason. I literally forgot their names, and I have the game right there in my Xbox One. I just haven't played my Xbox One in a while now because it's been so busy lately. But nonetheless, he was one of my favorite characters. But he actually dies more towards the end. But that depending on what decision do you make. So basically, my decision killed one of the characters, which I did not mean. I was trying to pretty much steer clear of characters losing their lives. Apparently, that wasn't avoidable when I chose the part of where he felt that everybody in the company was working against him. I just didn't think anybody was going to die. Apparently, with that robotic bastard there, the dark-skinned guy, the robotic bastard I like to call him, he's more like a robot or something. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's nothing human, if you ask me. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft Game would like to work on a Quantum Break. And with that being said, let me know on your thoughts if they should continue to work on a Quantum Break or should just leave the title alone the way it is. For me, I'd rather prefer they work on another one because it would also, push the game to boundaries that's never been seen before. And who knows, they might create a whole entirely brand new game off of the mechanics that came out of Quantum Break. So thank you very much for joining me today. Subscribe down below to my channel, and also don't forget to leave a like. And as is always, stay safe.